Hello everyone, I'm Liana. On this occasion, I will be discussing an interesting topic that opens a window into the complexity of language and the human mind. What is it? Well, I'm going to explore the world of psycholinguistics. Psycholinguistics is study of the complex relationship between the language and human mental processes. The field examines how we understand, produce, and acquire language as well as its impact on our tasks and cognitive processes. Psycholinguistics covers various aspects from the human brain processes and stores linguistic information to how we learn language from childhood to adulthood. By understanding psycholinguistics, we can explore the essence of what makes humans able to communicate in complex ways and express their thoughts, feelings, and ideas through language. Psychology of language is the branch of psychology that studies how humans use, understand the process language. It involves research into how the human brain receives and interprets language, how human learning occurs, and how language use affects human thought and behavior. The relationship between the psychology of language and learning, mind, brain, society, and culture is complex. As language and the human mind evolve, studies in psycholinguistics become increasingly important in understanding the complexities of human communication. Research in this field not only provides insight into how we learn language and communicate, but also uncovers important aspects of human social interaction, learning, and thinking in the context of diverse society and culture. culture. By understanding the psychology of language, we can more deeply understand the essence of human communication and its impact on learning, social interaction, and cultural development. In this slide, language learning and acquisition. How do we learn to speak and understand speech? Is language unique to humans? Do language influence on culture? The process of language learning and acquisition is an interesting area in the study of psycholinguistics. We can ask how exactly do humans learn to speak and understand everyday conversation? Is language ability unique to humans or do animals also have complex forms of communication? Questions like this lead us to a deeper understanding of how language develops, is learned, and used in everyday life. Studies in psycholinguistics help us answer these important questions by providing deep insight into the process of language learning, how the human brain processes insight information, and how language use affects our culture. By understanding how humans learn language from early childhood to adulthood, we can better appreciate the complexity of human communication and the role language plays in shaping human culture and identity. In the historical perspective, we will look at the interest that has existed in language for thousands of years. Scholars of various ages have taken a deep interest in language as a reflection of human thought. For example, in classical works such as Plato, Cratylus, we see debates about the origins of language and its relationship to objective reality. Plato and other philosophers argued that language is a representation of universal ideas that exist in the universe. In addition, in the 19th century, the study of language further developed with the emergence of modern linguists. Thinkers like Ferdinand de Saussure proposed the concept of structuralism in the study of language, which change the way we understand the relationship between language and thought. Authors argued that language is not only a means of communication, but also a symbolic system that reflects the structure of the human mind. This view later developed into its own discipline known as psycholinguistics. Scholars such as Noam Chomsky and Steven Pinker have expanded our understanding of the relationship between language and human cognitive processes. They highlight the importance of understanding how the human brain processes language and how language affects human thinking, decision-making, and behavior. Thus, the history of human thinking about language has provided a solid foundation for the development of psycholinguistics as a field of study that combines aspects of linguistics, psychology, and neuroscience. It inspires us to continue exploring the complexities of language and the human mind to understand the essence of human communication. Language structure is an important aspect in psycholinguistic study. It involves understanding how language is organized from basic units like sentences through to surface structure and underlying representation. In this study, we learn how language is used to convey meaning and perform communicative action. The basic unit in language is the sentence, which serves as the fundamental structure for conveying information. The surface structure of a sentence includes the word order, phrases, and clauses used to form a grammatically coherent unit. Behind the surface structure, there is an underlying representation, an abstract structure containing the meaning or proposition being conveyed. Additionally, we also study the function of sentences, such as speech and propositional content. Speech refer to the communicative goals of a sentence, such as stating facts, asking questions, or requesting something. Meanwhile, propositional content refers to the information or ideas conveyed by a sentence. By understanding language structure, we can delve deeper into analyzing how humans use language to communicate and how this language structure affects our understanding and use of language in everyday life. Function of sentences here. First, speech acts, asking questions, asserting facts, etc. Second, propositional content, like indicating objects, stats, and events. Last, cooperation with listeners, like event and new information, subject and predicate, prime and insert. Equally important, we will discuss the mental processes involved in everyday language use. One crucial aspect of psycholinguistic study is understanding how the human brain processes linguistic information and how these mental processes affects how we use and understand language. The human brain has complex structure and function in processing language. In psycholinguistic study, we learn how the human brain recognizes and deciphers language sounds, how we process words into meaning, and how we use grammatical rules to construct coherent sentences. Additionally, we will explore specific methods used in studying language, such as psychological experience, brain scans, and observation of linguistic behavior. By using these methods, Researchers can directly observe the mental processes involved in language use and identify factors that affect language learning and linguistic understanding. By understanding the mental processes involved in language use, we can better understand the complexity of human communication and gain deeper insight into how language is processed and used in everyday life. Finally, let's highlight the focus of psycholinguistics, which are the key processes that are the focus of this study. Firstly, we study the process of language comprehension, which involves how we process and interpret information conveyed through spoken or written language. This process involves recognizing words, analyzing sentence structure, and interpreting meaning from context. Next, we also study the process of language production, which is our ability to generate sentences that are appropriate for our communicative goals. This involves selecting words, arranging sentence structure, and executing vocals or written production. Lastly, but equally important, is the process of language acquisition, which is how we learn and master language from childhood to adulthood. This involves learning vocabulary, grammatical rules, and communication strategy used in social interaction. Additionally, psycholinguistics also study the complex relationship between language and human too. This includes how language affects cognitive processes such as problem solving, decision making, and self-concept development. That's a brief overview of the word psycholinguistics. By understanding the complexity of language and human tools, we can better appreciate the importance of this study in understanding the essence of human communication. I hope this explanation provides useful insight and feel free to subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Thank you for watching and see you.